almost on 3. And today I will have the great pleasure of welcoming in London, I believe, Navneet Bali, who is the chairman at Meininger Hotels. Navneet, is that a blue sky I see there in the background, or is it?
I'm trying to see. Is it blue? Or is it's a bit gray, actually.
It's a gray
but,
blue. Gray
blue, yeah.
How are you
so
doing?
As I said
How are you doing in these strange times?
Well, looking forward to more blue skies, I can assure you. I'm told by the weather forecaster this Sunday we'll have blue skies.
Right.
So that's too early for this crisis to be over, of course. It's a tough one for everybody, and certainly our industry. And on a personal level, I've got a 90-year-old mother who lives at home here. And so I've been isolating myself because obviously concerned that she shouldn't get it because at 90, obviously at risk.
Sure.
So that's our big concern. So those are the kind of things that make you feel that, sometimes, we all know this, but prioritizing what's important comes and hits you in the face. Life hits you, right?
Absolutely.
And you look at the priorities. Obviously, our biggest priority is to keep our mother here safe so that she doesn't get it because she's obviously at risk if she gets it, right?
No, for sure.
And so those are the things that becomes your priority. Your focus changes in that way. At the same time, you can be concerned about your business. We have a wonderful company, as you know, Meininger Hotels, very successful business, lovely young people who I really enjoyed working with and building up the business. And they are young, enthusiastic, full of vigor, and what we call the Meininger spirit. And I can see they're very spirited still, and etc.
Let me maybe get in there with the Meininger spirit. How do you? I mean, obviously now it's a new reality, hopefully short-lived. But the home office, the working in isolation. You've got a team that reaches across many countries. How do you manage that? How do you keep them going? How do you keep them motivated?
I think the key is communication, and I know our crisis cell or people are meeting every morning to discuss what to do and what actions to take, both at the personal level as well as organizational. Because clearly we have challenges in terms of most of the hotels that we are working with in Germany, France, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Belgium. They're all mostly at very low occupancies or closed right now. So naturally, when they're closed, obviously people have gone home. Everybody's working from home mostly, right? Except a few key people in the call centers and so on and so forth. But so I guess using technology to the extent possible, it makes life, like we're speaking on Zoom just now. So obviously we have technical tools through our IT guys to get people to converse and discuss things. So we can have that conversation, and you can get things working here.
Do you believe that will carry on, or do you think we'll stop online and go offline and face to face very quickly, or do you think that some of this, which we're being pushed into now, will actually be the new normal?
I think it's a moot point as to how behavior will change in the future. I do believe that from a business point of view, face-to-face meetings are important in terms of generating trust. And I think that will happen, of course, once the crisis is over, once the fear goes away, people will get back to doing business. I mean, there's a different issue with regard to, if there's a recession and companies have cut down travel budgets or whatever. Those are commercial things, but purely from a behavioral point of view, I think people will go back to both traveling as well as to having face-to-face meetings. In general, I mean, there would be some concern about groups traveling in terms of, conferences and large conferences. Probably they maybe rethink about some of those things for a while, right? Because obviously this is quite a cataclysmic and big event, and it will change people's concerns. But once the fear goes away and we get back to our activities, and subject to, of course, what happens in the economy and how long it takes to recover. That's another factor, of course, right, which we can probably discuss, but the more economist thing, and nobody knows, and there are a lot of forecasts, as you know, and you guys are probably working on all those. We listen to a lot of those. But I think purely on behavior times, I think for both, certainly for leisure, I think people will want to travel, right? As always, once they have disposable income and they have the desire to do so, there might be a view. There's a view that people will, there'll be less international travel, more domestic travel. But I think that's more to do with the fear factor of people traveling for long distances,
which
right?
will undoubtedly but talking about changes,
yes.
now your model, Mining as model, is a bit of a hybrid model already anyway. Do you think there will be changes within your model, within other models that are being brought forward by the crisis that we're experiencing? Different models, different types of establishments, where we're going more innovative, different.
Yes, I think it's a very good question. This model we so-called hybrid that in fact we take credit for renaming it hybrid. I think if anything, we were the first company to call it a hybrid, and there's a bit of story behind it. When we took over this business from our previous owners in 2013, half the hotels were called Meininger Hotels and half were called Meininger Hostels.
Hostels, yeah.
And when I looked at that, and everybody said, "What are we? Are we a hostel or are we a hotel?" And we had a bit of a think about that. And I'll tell you where it came from. I drive a hybrid car, Prius, and I said, "Why don't we call it a hybrid hotel?" Right? Because therefore we decided to call it hybrid, right? Or give this classification of hybrid. I believe we were the first people to start using that acronym for hotels in the industry. So I feel proud that we did that, because now we're talking as if it's a generic thing, right?
Correct.
It's like refrigerators are called fridges now, right?
Yeah.
So actually we were the first guys to think about it. And,
the
thinking
hybrid
behind, and the reason I'm mentioning it to you because of your question, because I'm answering it in a slightly more strategic way. The feeling I had was at that time that a hotel and a hostel, which we're a combination of a hotel and a hostel, right? In a way, and therefore a hotel is a larger category. It's a very large category in my view. Hotels, or if you like, that kind of accommodation. People basically sleep at night and get services. So that's a very large category. You have apartment hotels, you have leisure you have all-suite hotels, you have luxury hotels, you have budget hotels, you have motels. These are all classified as hotels. Even a motel is a hotel, right? A motor hotel, a motel, right? So therefore, these categories are all hotels. So I said, why not a hostel, if you like, is also a hotel, if you like, right? So there, and certainly a combination of the two, which we do in Meininger, where the reason is why it's hybrid is because you can come and book a room and stay in a room and share the room with somebody you don't know. That's a hostel, right? If you book a room and you stay with somebody you should know, right? Your partner or your wife or somebody, right? That's you're responsible for the room, right? And therefore you get a room which you share with somebody you're responsible for. That's a hotel. So there's a technical difference, but essentially the purpose is the same: accommodation.
So I think to focus back
services
on the
different kind. So we decided.
Sorry to cut in. I'm conscious of time, unfortunately enough. Sorry, but I think that bringing in.
I just tell you. I'll tell you what I think. Yeah, please.
Apologies.
Please carry on.
No, so obviously, what I think is that you're well placed to be to react to certain changes in the market as well, having this hybrid model. But maybe in closing, because I'm very conscious of time, what do you think will be the societal changes possibly, or will we be better people?
Look, that's one of those questions where I think we're inherently better people always, if you like. It does certainly focus on the human values. Like when we start the meeting, we start thinking of what's more important in life. We prioritize things, and therefore, naturally, this is an ethereal experience, which is also kind of spiritual in a way for most people, because you're sitting, you're looking at yourself, you're self-examining a bit, you're with your family, you're sitting with your, and kind of enforced to sit down and share things with them, right? You also have colleagues, and you also think about their livelihoods and how they're coping. So we're looking at the human factor much more, I guess. And therefore, I agree with you that there will be a higher sense of that value coming through, and it might create some and hopefully it'll create a better atmosphere when we go forward.
I wish that too, because the pain that many people are going through, some physical, but many economically. I mean, there has to be a positive outcome at the end of that. So, with this positive message, thank you, Navneet Bali. It's been great talking to you. I can see the picture slightly frozen. I hope that you're not frozen over there as far as the weather is concerned. Thank you so much for your time.
No, I can see you. I can see.
And we'll chat very, very soon. Thank you.